Raditz opened his eyes. The first thing he saw was King Cold's towering form in the distance, still dominating the Z fighters. A slow, dangerous smirk crossed his face. "Do you miss me?" he said, looking at Kakarot, his brother. Goku just smiled, not just from having another powerful ally near him, but from seeing his dead brother once more. King Cold looked at him. "And the monkeys that killed my son keep coming. How tiresome." Raditz didn't answer with words. He knew his base power was nowhere near enough, so he went further beyond. He closed his eyes for a single heartbeat. Ki erupted around him, not the wild, uncontrolled surge of a great ape, but something more refined, controlled, and focused. His body remained human-sized, however, it got much bulkier than before. His eyes burned with a sharp, crystalline gold. Power radiated from him in steady, crushing waves, the Ikari form. At this moment, he became the strongest Z fighter, with a power level of 25 million. Raditz's voice was calm. "I learned a few things while I was dead. Controlling the power of a great ape while maintaining my normal form seemed important." Goku's ki rose around him, the Super Saiyan aura exploding outward once more. Together, they charged. The impact shook the planets. Goku and Raditz attacked together, moving as one. Goku struck high, Raditz swept low. The Emperor blocked one ball, only for the other to crash into his side. For a brief moment, King Cold was actually forced backwards. The Namekians watched in disbelief. They were making him fight, actually fight. Raditz vanished behind him, his orb blazing. "Double Sunday!" he shouted. Two spirals of ki erupted from his hands. King Cold turned just in time to catch the attack with one palm. Before he could retaliate, Goku appeared overhead. A heavy axe kick slammed into the Emperor's shoulders, driving him into the ground. King Cold landed smoothly, then he smiled. "I'll admit you two work well together." His ki exploded, the atmosphere seems to freeze. In an instant, the momentum they had created vanished. King Cold simply disappeared. A fist buried itself into Goku's stomach before he even realized the Emperor had moved. The Super Saiyan doubled over, coughing blood. Raditz lunged immediately, however, the king caught his wrist, then the other. For a second, the two simply stared at each other. Too slow. The Frost Demon laughed. He hurled Raditz to a mountain. Goku recovered and charged again. The Emperor met him head-on, trading a flurry of blows that echoed across Namek, before finishing with a crushing kick that sent Goku crashing into the ground. The Saiyans were now on the defensive. All the momentum and opportunity the Saiyans had made had by now disappeared, and as such, they were now fully on the defensive. Watching from afar, Tien clenched his fists. "They're losing." Piccolo nodded. "They need one opening," he said, and yet, they both knew how just far behind they were, how they couldn't even help even if they tried their best. Tien took a deep breath. "Then I'll make one." Without waiting for an answer, he charged. King Cold noticed him immediately. "Another insect," he mocked. Tien unleashed a barrage of strikes, forcing the Emperor to turn away from Goku for just a second. It was enough. Raditz rejoined the fight. The three attacked together. For several seconds, King Cold was actually surrounded. Blows came from every direction. Even the Emperor found himself blocking instead of attacking. Then, King Cold's eyes shifted towards Tien, the weakest one. His arm moved slowly, almost lazily. It was a simple backhand, and yet, crack echoed across the battlefield. Tien disappeared across the horizon, smashing through mountain after mountain before vanishing into a cloud of dust. Silence. His ki was gone. Piccolo's eyes widened. "Tien?" No answer. Even Goku froze for a heartbeat. King Cold slowly lowered his arm. "Now, where were we?" Goku wipes the blood from his mouth. Raditz stood quiet, yet his aura freaked harder than before. Neither of them needed to say a word. They just rushed King Cold again. This time, they didn't hold back. They went beyond their limits. Goku attacked head-on while Raditz circled behind him, forcing the Emperor to defend both directions. Every punch was followed by another, every opening was covered by the other Saiyan. For nearly a minute, King Cold was forced entirely defensive. The Emperor blocked a kick from Goku before catching Raditz's elbow, throwing him aside and retaliating with a devastating knee that sent Goku crashing into the ground. He sighed, "I've entertained this long enough." King Cold slowly raised his hand. Dark energy gathered above his palm. It grew until a massive sphere of black and violet energy towered over the battlefield, the Death Ball. The Namekians stared in horror. If that attack landed, Namek itself would not survive. Goku slowly stood. "I guess we've got no choice." Raditz nodded. "Let's finish this." Goku planted his feet. Blue energy gathered between his hands. Kamehameha. Raditz raised his arms. Energy spiraled violently around him. Double Sunday! The two beams erupted together. King Cold smiled. "And this is why monkeys will never win." He pushed the Death Ball forward. The attacks collided. The explosion illuminated the entire planet. Shockwaves raced across Namek, sending waves crashing down to its oceans and flattering forests hundreds of kilometers away. For a second, neither side moved. Then, the Death Ball began pushing ground, slowly, relentlessly. Goku's muscles trembled, his Super Saiyan aura flickered. Raditz gritted his teeth as the Ikari form began fading around him. It was too much. The Frost Demon was way too powerful. King Cold laughed. "Did you actually believe you stood a chance?" But then, a yellow beam suddenly joined the clash. Piccolo landed beside the Saiyans. His cape was gone, his body was covered in burns from the battle before. And, without saying a word, he poured every last ounce of energy into the beamstorm. The Death Ball slowed, only slightly, only barely, just enough for anyone to notice as it kept moving. Then, a familiar voice echoed across the battlefield. "Dad!" Gohan shouted, landing beside Piccolo. He looked at Raditz, at Goku, at Piccolo, all of them exhausted. The human from before was nowhere near. What happened? Did he die? Gohan couldn't sense him. He didn't know what was happening anymore. Just that, if he didn't do anything, they all would die. In that moment, something inside Gohan snapped. His scream echoed across the planet. His hidden power erupted without restraint. The ground beneath him exploded. The black hair danced wildly, all his latent potential being released in that same moment. Piccolo's eyes widened. That power. It had far surpassed him already. A boy with barely any training was one of the strongest fighters alive. Without hesitation, Gohan fired. His beam crashed into the others. For the first time, the Death Ball stopped, and King Cold's smile disappeared. Impossible. This kept going for a while, several long, painful seconds, where neither side gained or lost any ground. Yet they knew that the king would have a higher stamina. They needed to find a way to win this fast. However, to the Z Fighters' luck, far beyond the battlefield, someone stood, bruised, covered in blood, barely conscious. It was Tien. One of his eyes was swollen shut. His breathing was uneven, yet somehow he was still standing. He looked toward his friends. Just one chance. He raised both hands. Every ounce of energy left inside him gathered into a single point. Neo? The planet shook as he released his Neo Tri-Beam. A colossal pillar of golden energy crashed into the King Cold side. For the first time since arriving on Namek, the Emperor was genuinely staggered. His concentration broke, only for a heartbeat, but that was enough. Goku felt it instantly. Victory was in their hands. This is it. His body had already reached its limits. Going past it might injure him, might kill him even. However, he didn't care. Kaioken! His aura exploded red. His Kamehameha doubled in size. Raditz roared beside him, forcing every remaining ounce of power into the double sundae. Piccolo and Gohan did the same. The death ball cracked. King Cold's eyes widened. No. Cracks spread across the sphere, and then it shattered. The combined beam engulfed the Emperor completely. He screamed as he struggled against the overwhelming force. He pushed for a moment. It came to a halt, but then there was nothing left. The beam launched him into space, straight towards the nearby star. His scream echoed until it vanished into the distance. Then a blinding light. The king of the universe was gone. The warriors collapsed where they stood. Goku's power faded. Raditz's Ikari form dissolved. Gohan fell to his knees. Piccolo dropped to one knee, breathing hard. And Tien finally lost consciousness. The Namekian healers rushed forward, surrounding them with green lights. Slowly, their bodies began to stabilize. When the group could finally stand again, the new elder approached. You saved our world, and perhaps even the universe. The Dragon Balls still have one wish left. You may use in however way you want. Goku's voice was quiet. Bring Krillin back, please. Porunga granted the wish. Krillin was revived, back on Earth, since that was a place where his body still was. The group had finally achieved their goal. Onryansha was still dead, however even he talked to them through King Kai. He said he would remain in the other world, training under him, until the Earth's Dragon Balls became active again. He promised to become much more powerful. Months passed in peace. The Z-Fighters returned home. Chi-Chi finally stopped yelling long enough to cry with relief. Gohan trained under Piccolo's and Raditz's watchful eyes. And as such, life just continued. For a while, it felt normal. There were brief moments of consideration about what would happen now that the universe had no ruler, and what had happened to Vegeta, but it didn't matter now. They were at peace. Then, one quiet afternoon, every fighter on Earth felt it at the same time. A ki, not hostile, not aggressive, yet so vast that the air itself seemed to still. It hadn't come from space, it simply appeared. Goku, Raditz, and Piccolo exchanged glances. Without words, they took off towards the source. In a quiet field outside West City, a young man with lavender hair and a Capsule Corporation jacket stood waiting, sword at his side. He looked up as the three approached, eyes sharp and serious. You're Son Goku, right? If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to see what happens when the future comes calling, part 6 is where it all begins. Until then, consider watching any of the cool videos I got on the channel right now.